Hey, here's to you. Hey guys, welcome back. It's still Saturday. Different t-shirt. Had to go run some errands on my bicycle. Do all the normal things you do on Saturday. Sit in the park, eat some pineapple. You know what I'm saying? Hang out with Chutney for a hot minute. Basically just chill. And I was sitting there staring out at the Delaware River thinking to myself, what am I even thinking about right now? And I didn't have an answer. I just sat there. I just sat there and I watched the mighty, mighty Delaware drifting by, people on their bicycle, whatnot. I thought to myself, why the hell is it 80 degrees on Halloween? I'll tell you why, because we are in the dystopian cyberpunk future. Hello once again, everybody. It's Hanker and Fernail back here on Runehammer once again. Thanks for tuning in. And you must be having a Saturday like I'm having a Saturday. Every once in a while it comes together. All you're doing, yeah, you don't got nothing to do, but you have everything to do. But you don't want to do all the stuff you're supposed to do. You'd rather do nothing. So if you're doing what I'm doing, which is not a whole hell of a lot, maybe just kick back and relax for a second, because this one ain't heavy. No, there's no how-to here, no glue gun. Wanted to take just a hot second here, do another one of these little shorties. They're kind of fun, it's kind of lightweight, right? And I basically wanted to, lay down some lyrical monstrosities about the homies. Now, nowadays, here in the 21st century, we have been handed quite the ridiculously rigged superstructure, right? It's sort of this kind of rigged game that we play in the modern world, kind of, in the opinion of some, the sort of the rigged superstructure of the boomers, right? They kind of climbed the ladder and then they burned the ladder behind them, right? And so I know everybody out there, this is a passe concept, that we're sort of expected to struggle to run faster and faster and faster, and somehow there's going to be this kind of output, right? Like you're going to have all the stuff. Now, there's mixed results, right? For some people, fortune comes their way, or maybe they had a leg up here and there because of generations before them, a little bit of luck, maybe a whole bunch of hard work. But I do think nowadays there's a bit of an undue burden, especially in the realm of infinite communications and on-tap knowledge, that we are really supposed to hustle constantly. Like that's normal, right? And so this isn't just a diatribe about our social condition right now. And there are obviously so many people out there on this planet who have it so much worse than anybody who maybe is just struggling to get ahead in life. There are people out there just trying to frickin' survive, right? But in the storm of all this, I just wanted to take a moment to kind of holler about friends, about your friends, about my friends and your friends. And in the context of role playing, right? That's what this YouTube channel is about. It's not the only thing going on in my entire life, mind you. But when I get onto the internet, it's time to talk about our hobby that we do. So obviously there are several other facets of life to consider. But when you hop on YouTube and you're hanging out with old Hanker and Fernail, thinking about playing D&D a little bit more better, then all you're here to do is thinking about that hobby, right? And in the context of that hobby, a sensei isn't worth much without a student, right? A GM isn't worth much without players. And all these things are just different ways of saying, man, friends are great. And I know that a lot of times on YouTube, I definitely exude an air of being a sensei. And that's kind of always been my character. I don't know if I am a sensei. That's a completely different question. But I sort of come off that way. That's kind of my John, right? That's how I do stuff. And it has mixed results, to be quite honest. But really underneath there's a bit of an unspoken truth, and I wanted it to no longer go unspoken. just for good Saturday vibes that I wanted to share with everybody this weekend. This is one of my favorite sort of times of year, not just because of so-called holidays or because of the sort of the change of the seasons or pumpkin spice or any of that stuff. There's just something great about like this feeling that a year is sort of coming into its twilight a little bit. Like we're 2023 is going to wrap before long here, and you start to get like that pensive feeling, right? And for me, I just wanted to take a second to holler at the people in my life and in the life of Runehammer, basically, in the life of old Ingrid Bernal, who do the thing that is so valuable in a friend, right? And friendship kind of can start as a sameness with other people. It can start as sort of a sharing, of like sharing interests or maybe little favors or prezzies back and forth. Obviously, one of the greatest things you can share as a sort of a prezzy or a gift to someone that you would consider a friend is your time, right? Because it's completely irreplaceable. Almost every other gift you can give a person can be replaced, but your time is so precious and so limited and is just gone like that. And a lot of the events that I describe here on YouTube, and hell, not even just events, products, right? Runehammer makes products. I make books and I make PDFs and dice and all kinds of little doodads. And I need to shill my wares to, pay my electric bill. That's all 100% real. Make no mistake. But all of that is relatively impossible and hollow without the time that is shared with me by a bunch of fantastic people. And so on the previous couple of streams today, I've been talking about the Outriders, right? And on the one hand, oh yeah, the Outriders is kind of a different version of a con, right? So it's, I guess this is kind of a professional thing, right? Like Runehammer needs to gather its most stalwart fans, a word I really don't like using. It's readers, it's fans, it's enthusiasts, it's supporters. Sure, that's kind of real, I guess, in one way. But you know what it really is, and what all the gatherings that I've done this year have been about. I look back, I've been lucky enough to have, I guess, really like 4 or 5 RPG sort of gatherings this year with different people. And you know what it really is? It's your friends, man. And I really want to send a heartfelt thank you, first of all, to those 9 knuckleheads who journeyed from all over the country, spent their hard-earned money and their even more irreplaceable time to come out here and do what we did. And not because it boosts my hustle, right? Now, yes, we do live in the sort of cyberpunk, afterglow of this sort of boomer ideal, which was this just work hard and you'll get the stuff kind of mindset. I think pretty much everyone on the planet realizes we're a little bit past that part. We're well into the cyberpunk stage now, where there may be some built-in unfairness in the world, and we don't need to overly fixate on that, but it is a reality. And these 9 guys coming out here, or all you crazy people from the Paw Pack get together way back in April, these people who come out to share their time with me, yeah, I guess I can't lie, it's a little bit part of the hustle, but far more than that. It's part of growing and nurturing this sort of journey that I happen to be on. And like I say in so many videos, I have no idea why this has become my focus in life. I never set out to do this. I thought I was going to do something completely different. I thought there was some crazy shit in store. I didn't really, who can really visualize their life, like not just because of the big stuff, the big twists and turns that happen to all of us, but the little stuff, the little things that you do when there's nothing else to do. What are those things? And do they accidentally kind of take root in your life? And in my life, they did. They took root in full effect. I mean, I don't want to swing the camera around in this room because this room is absolute freaking chaos. I'm looking at it right now. I am in the middle of so many projects, and it isn't because necessarily I'm hustling. Don't get me wrong. I got to hustle sometimes. I'd like to be one of the hardest working, RPG mofos out there. I definitely give it my all. But when it comes to these folks who come out to just sit down and roll dice, to collaboratively kind of come up with better ideas that go into the things I make, and just to sit around in a circle and shoot the shit about, is Star Wars a lost cause or is it actually getting better over time? You know what I mean? Like, is Appendage a horror movie or a comedy? I don't know. Let's talk about it for an hour. This kind of time sharing, the debt that I owe in return is absolutely infinite. And for now, all I can do to pay it back is thank these individuals most sincerely right here in sort of the limited public forum that I do have. And part of the reason that I would want to do it isn't to say their names on the live stream and get get super chats to pop up or whatever. I know that's become sort of part of our culture nowadays, is this kind of shout out culture, right? We get into a public forum on the internet and we shout out individuals, and then we get like a bunch of hearts and firework icons that pop up and stuff. I mean, I guess I see it, but that's not what I'm doing. I'm on first and foremost, I'm hollering at y'all, and I don't need to say who you are because you know exactly who you are, and I'm not really here to blow them up in some way or to send a bunch of signal boost to their YouTube channels or to their online stores or to their Instagram account or whatever. Dear Lord, you guys, sometimes we need to take a break from this whole mindset of hustle. And I guess it just sort of happened to me. I was like riding my bike. It's 80 degrees out, which is bizarre. And I was like, I'm getting hot. I need some coconut water up in this. So I went and sat in the park, and I just sitting there for like a solid half hour doing absolutely fracking nothing. And this is kind of what popped into my head, and I just wanted to share it, partially to give credit where credit is due, right? Like what I do, I can't just do. I can't just sit down and do all this crazy shit. It's everywhere, by the way, and have it mean anything. It really kind of adds up to nothing. Now, if I were just writing novels, let's say, yeah, I could be a total hermit. I could just send the novels out into the world. People read the novels. I make another one, and on we go. And I could see how that lifestyle could be kind of cool and in some ways quite peaceful. But for reasons that remain somewhat unclear, I've chosen this kind of role-playing zone. And is it really about like Dungeons and Dragons, the brand? No, not really. Is it really about like obsessive sort of fandom? Like I can't get enough of Greyhawk or something like that. There's one particular sort of product that I bought when I was young, and it's just like fixated in my brain, and I can't get enough of it. And I'm kind of like I have every He-Man that's ever been made or anything like that. Not really. It's not really about that either. I find that every year it changes, except the aspect of wanting to kind of present, share, and change these interests with the homies. And you know what? It's not even present, share, and change with anyone and everyone, which I think is what the convention mindset would sort of lead us into that mindset, right? Like we need to gather in the largest possible groups and share interests. It's a little bit like the sports culture. For them, there's this massive experience of sharing the love of sport with the hugest possible group of people. And it is quite electrifying, I must say, even though I'm not really a sports person. The appeal of it and the fun of it, of going there in person anyway, is almost undeniable. I mean, as long as you're not like afraid of crowds, because hey, if you are, I can relate to that. But that sharing with people, I think in this particular hobby, it breaks down a little bit at the everyone and anyone level. But on a personal level, a small level, it's magical. And it's not magical by yourselves. And of course, we have to play online with some of our friends because they're far away. But I wanted to send out not only a thank you to the homies that come and spend their time with me to make whatever craziness this is we're making, that I hope we continue to make and evolve over the next decade. But also to give a nice holler to everybody who watches Runehammer to put aside the sort of the pandemic period. Let's be done with it now, and to start to follow the example of these great people who are inspiring me. These guys who flew across the country in some cases, coming all the way from the Northwest in some cases, to sit around, roll dice, talk about things that don't exist, and share time together. Be that person. You can either be the person that does the inviting and the helping and the hosting and the welcoming, or be the person that does the journeying and the showing up and the harrowing quest to go get to the location. And a quick prop out to my to the Southwest Shields, right? They're another group that's kind of doing this, and I know a lot of people out there do this. But in some ways, it's sort of the unsung awesome of our hobby. I think it's kind of like there's this myth that role playing groups kind of just like drive down the street 10 minutes and they're at this old D&D group that's played together for decades, and they have these long running campaigns, and their families are all intertwined and all this stuff, and that is real, make no mistake, but that's by far not just the model. There are so many different models, and what I want to invite everyone and encourage everyone to do is, if you're kind of into this like I am, like to a somewhat crazy level, don't let anybody tell you it's weird, because you already know it's weird. So you don't really need other people telling you that you're weird. It's a bit odd, but being really into anything is odd. The guy that plays xylophone in high school, he's always got to walk home alone. Am I right? But you know what's dope later in life? When somebody plays the xylophone in a bar and you're like, hot damn, that dude can play the freaking xylophone. How crazy is that? And it's awesome. So being weird, it may feel a little funky in the moment or when you're new to it, but over time, if you can hold it and you can believe in the oddity of your choices and your interests and just revel in them, and then best of all, either go to those that share your oddity or have them, and this is really fun, have them come to you and gather in person. It's fucking awesome. And so on the one hand, I'm like thankful for it. And I want to holler at the world about it, right? And thank goodness for my privilege and my opportunity and my fortune that I get to do this kind of stuff, that I don't have to fight for survival every stinking day. I know that this is not true for all people in this world. Some people don't even get to think about this stuff. They are dealing with far more imminent and terrible realities. So I'm grateful for that opportunity. But I wanted to holler at everybody to make that effort. Take a look this weekend at who's out there. Who relates to you the most? Who fans your flames? Not just your acquaintances and your friends, they're all great, but who actually, stokes that fire of strangeness in you instead of tamping it down or asking too much of it or not understanding it. And you know what? Those people are totally okay too. But those who fan your flames, as the old saying goes, think about who those people are. Where are they? Are they around you? You lucky devil. Are they way off in the distance? Well, you might have some work to do. Reach out to them. Think about getting together. Just a weekend is plenty. One weekend of gathering with these people who fan your flames will fuel you for months. Will fuel your day-to-day life, and then like getting ready to see them again. So it's both a thank you, it's an ode to friends, and you guys all know who you are. And I may not be who I seem to be on YouTube, and there's a group of people who know me for who I really am. Maybe I am exactly like that would be really weird. But I don't need to call out their names and get hollers and bursts of firework icons to get my message across. You guys know who you are. I love you guys. Mad props to y'all, because without those friends, this whole thing doesn't really add up to shit. I would probably just have to write some novels and be lonely. It wouldn't be cool, because that's just not what I've chosen. And if you wonder why all my videos are filmed from this same camera angle, right? How come I don't do all this kind of other stuff and all this sort of editing and fast cuts and, comical brilliantly assembled videos with catchy, click intensive thumbnails and stuff. It's because that is not my hobby. My hobby is preparing for, thinking about, and constantly elevating and innovating my ability to delight, surprise, and collaborate with these groups of friends. And it's great to have peeps on YouTube and across the world support me and encourage me, like on Patreon and all that good stuff. Believe me, it's survival critical for me. Patreon is survival critical for me and my tiny little family. Make no mistake, that is not some kind of money grab or something. Patreon pays my electric bill, my car bill. I have a car, which is of dubious value, I must say. But you know what? Useful for visiting friends, useful for getting around, for showing up. Somebody's having a bad weekend, you take them some baked ziti. You know what I'm saying? Like, invest, y'all. Show love and get love in return. And I tell you, I guess now that it's been like a week after our last gathering, I feel it. I feel how much value comes from getting together, because it's still going and it's just the beginning. And now I'm getting ready for MythicCon down in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I'm doing the same thing again. I find myself just back in another loop, preparing a game, preparing little treats to hand out, little surprises and little prezzies, just doing it again. And that is why these stinking videos are always from the same camera angle. And why am I streaming multiple times in one day? I don't know. It's just an idea. It's the Runehammer Super Show. I have a day to myself today. I'm kind of sitting in here, riding my bicycle a little bit, sitting on the back patio, staring at some buildings. Like, you just ever just look at buildings? It's not so bad. I got my coffee cup. This is like my third cup of coffee. So yeah, it's my third cup. I'm feeling like Joe right now. He's out there. I'm channeling my inner hobbit, because I'm just like eating bread and drinking coffee. Yeah. But anyways, that's just what I wanted to do. It wasn't really like a big deal stream here. I'm just doing these little mini streams. And that's about it. I don't know if there's like big questions to ask. If anybody got a question, by the way, just throw it in the stinking comments over there. We could take any direction you want this video to go. This is really just kicking it. And I've gained a new appreciation for these kind of videos, because it's what I watch. I know that there's a lot of like produced stuff out there, but I gotta make a confession. I don't watch a lot of it. I kind of skim through it and get the gist of it and form some kind of crappy hot take opinion and move on. But if someone is live and there's kind of just this sort of nice, like, friend sitting next to me kind of voice, I tend to watch that shit. And not all just role playing. This stuff kind of comes from all over the YouTubosphere, this kind of feeling of live existence. And it's also neat because you know that this is the moment that you're also currently experiencing. And that's why I do all these live videos too. It's important to keep everyone appraised of my projects and situations, obviously for professional purposes. Y'all, I gotta survive over here. But I'd have to say the primary purpose really is just this kind of hollering, just communion. Communion just reminds me of aliens. It's not a very good feeling when I say that word. So I wouldn't say. I'd also like they got the cracker on the tongue, and like then I think of like evil Pope guys and stuff, and then I'm like in the Nun, and then the Pope's Exorcist. Oh my God, have you guys watched that movie? The dungeon in that movie is so sick. Anyways, I digress. It really is one of the coolest dungeons in a movie, and it's in like an Exorcist style movie. Which whoever said we should put a dope dungeon in here, you're awesome. So, anyways, it's just a little holler out. There's no reason to sit here forever chit-chatting on YouTube. But take a little appraisal today. When you got some spare time, right? It's the weekend. Come on, take a break, will you? Look out over the buildings or the trees or the grass or the river or the lake or whatever you look at, ocean waves if you're really lucky. Give a little thought to, who are those people? Is there one of them? Are there 10 of them? Is there 5 of them? Oh, really? Do stream ads actually interrupt the stream? That's cruel. That's terrible. They can't be doing that. Anyways, The Pope's Exorcist, Keith. Great dungeon in that movie. So cool. I mean, you could screenshot some of those dungeon pictures they have and just put them on your VTT. But as you're chilling today, this weekend, think about who those people are that fan your flames, that ignite you, that make you want to get further into the thing you're already way too far into. Who are those people? List them out on a piece of mo paper, right? On an index card, whatever. Hit them up. Hit them up online. And like online communication tools get all kinds of bad rap, but Discord is a dope tool for doing this. Who wants to send 52 emails? Nobody. It's no fun. Holler at somebody, send them a text, get a group chat going, you know what I mean? And is there a gathering in your future? And if there is, you're a lucky devil, just like me, and do it. Not all our spare time needs to be spent, laying poolside, having Mai Tais or whatever, or working all the stinking time, or making a big, sort of stereotypical or, culturally approved vacation experience. You can spend a weekend with your homies that fan your flames on your crazy hobby, and you can do it not that expensive, have a great time, and it can fuel you for months to come. And I just wanted to holler at it. So thank you, you guys. You know who you are, for keeping this flame a-burning, because she burning bright, all right? That's it. I'm not going to eat up your Saturday. I'm going to get out of here. You guys get out there and enjoy it, all right? May your fires be bright. Hit me up directly. Get on that Runehammer Discord. It's open to everyone nowadays, so hop in there and chit-chat with me. I'm on there all the time. I try to keep up. It gets a little crazy sometimes. But hit me up. Let's chat. Love y'all. And I think I'm going to get out of here. I might go down into the kitchen and continue to eat. It's just like Tom Hardy said. Sometimes just being in your house, eating snacks, minding your own business is truly priceless. All right, you guys. Say hi to them friends. Keep these fires burning bright. I'll see you soon. Have a good one. Hanker and Fernail. I'm out.